Hey guys, this is a Streets plus 26 run I did earlier today.
Surrender your weapons and follow me.
We had again a comp where I played the part of the rogue,
alternate agreement?
since we had the
There will be
survival
no
hunter and
agreement.
industrial log
Lethal
doing
force
only AoE.
authorized.
Here at the beginning I was fishing for a clear casting proc so I can do my stacks really fast. I used my ruby, did the basic single target rotation since there are only 3 adds, and melee with those adds is a bit dangerous, so I prefer to stay away and do the single target rotation. I critted as well, so
Watch your step.
I wasn't totally useless on this first pull.
Watch your step.
Usually first pulls of dungeons are really bad as Arcane because you don't have your stacks up, so you waste a lot of time by building the 18 stacks. But right now I had a clear casting proc, so I got the stacks really fast and also critted, so I exist on the DPS
Watch
meter,
your step.
let's call it that way. Our plan is to do one more pull and then Bloodlust double pull. This lines up perfectly with my arcane power as well. I spell steal the shield from the sporting officer that would kill us
Watch your
otherwise. And I'm using my 45 seconds cooldown right now. I'm not dispelling the weapons because like a lot of them come. You know, the ones you can see on the custom security. And since we have low haste as
Watch your
arcane, if
step.
I continuously purge these, spell steal these, then it means I would do absolutely nothing. And the healer does most of them because you can also purchase priest. So I'm letting him do that. This is a pug group
Watch your
again,
step.
so we weren't on voice or anything. Just like all the pug runs I do. As you can see, my ruby is almost coming up in 18 seconds. I'm praying that this lives long enough so that I can ruby an ad that will die really late. I dispel first. I'm waiting for my ruby to come before lusting. Actually, I'm lusting for the rest of the team. Using mirror images to not get aggro. Doing my basic AoE rotation, and I got 2 crits on it, which was absolutely great. Just doing arcane explosions here since there are a lot of adds, and it's worth it with the amount of haste you get from Bloodlust. If there are like,
Watch
I
your
would say
step.
about 6 or 7 adds, even more than 5. You can just spam arcane explosion, does a lot of damage, does like 6k or no, maybe a bit less, 4k and 8k without crit. Sadly the tank died here, he got CR'd and he died again, so yeah, we try to keep this alive.
Watch your step.
Which we did. I used Invis to be sure not to get aggro because I didn't want to lose my 18 stacks for the next pull. Just trying to reduce my AP cooldown as much as I can before next pull. I don't know when the tank is going to pull, but I'm trying to have it. Since my AP is in 20 seconds, I decided to just focus a relic so that I can AP this pull instead of using only my 45 seconds. So that I use AP here, using my 45 seconds on the mini boss, and then I have AP back for the boss pull.
Watch your step.
As you can see, I'm going to have my 45 seconds for the mini boss. I have Ruby, but I'm holding it for boss pool because I want to do more damage on boss.
You have been randomly
I'm
selected.
losing the Radiant
For
Pulse here
death.
so that I don't get the debuff, and as you can see, I was the only one not taking damage there.
Watch
That's
your
something
step.
you can do as ranged on this mini boss.
Interrupt.
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dips.
Watch your step.
I asked the priest to give me PI on pull for every boss.
Interrupt.
But he just used PI now on the Warlock, so I wasn't gonna have PI for the whole
Watch your
boss fight.
step.
That kind of triggered me because I know as mages we do less damage than Warlocks and Hunters, but as Arcane our single target is so much bigger, and I really think it's worth it for us to get PI. You're going to see how much more damage I'm going to do than both of them in this boss fight without Lust, without PI. I'm using Ruby on the Shade, using mirror images before pull so that I can use my CDs as fast as possible. I gridded here, I used all the relics for funnel,
Proc your proc, dude, look at my dibs! I proc your proc, dude, look at my dibs!
just to show the priest that I'm doing much more damage in single target and that he should have waited with PI.
Or I will seize them! Return to me!
Target
How
change.
loud you can scream!
The hunter got interrogated there and he used the turtle to cancel it.
Target
Sadly, I forgot this cast was going to come. I should have waited to see if it was on me.
I proc your proc, dude, look at my dibs!
I basically wasted my 45-second cooldowns there. And I am still, even with that, I'm still so much in front of the other two DPS in single target just because of how much single target Arcane has.
target you.
How loud you can scream!
I'm going to block this interrogation just so, again,
Your weapons, or
I
will
cancel
seize them.
the interrogation. I saw that the disarm just went off, so I can use my CDs freely. I didn't crit this time. Still doing over 20k in this boss fight.
Target you.
I'm interrogated again. I don't have block, and if I invis, the interrogation would just go on somebody else. And since I don't have CDs, I just basically sacrifice myself to keep the interrogation because I was useless otherwise anyway. Using evocation here to be sure that I have enough mana to use my 45-second CDs. I can see that the disarm is not coming, so I'm using them freely this time without any concern that I might get disarmed.
I proc your proc, dude, look at my dibs! Return to me!
Yeah, so I finished this boss fight with almost 18k and without PI. The priest understood that that how worth PI is on Arcane Mage,
Watch your step.
especially on this boss, I guess. I'm trying to kill the Woe Relic here, especially since I don't have CDs yet. I have them soon enough and I will use everything. Using my Ruby, my Potion,
Watch your step.
Radiant Spark and Blinking while casting it, so I can be meta to do my AoE rotation, which requires Arcane Explosions. We have to kill the shades here first before going invis. Sorry, before skipping because we have WoW and we are already invis.
We require signatures from the city's leading cartels to
I don't know why this activated, so I just got teleported downstairs.
She escapes to your world.
Anyways,
The artifact she covets
I have my
will be
45
in her
seconds
grasp.
right now, and I'll have my AP for the 2 ad pulls. I think the priest PI'd me here, but he PI'd me a bit too early because, I mean, I guess if you're not used to playing with an Arcane Mage and you're not on voice and you're a POG group, you don't really know when to use Power Infusion on an Arcane Mage. But that's the problem. If they have a weak or a macro, just showing them who is using CDs in the group, it's really bad for Arcane, because if you want to get PI as Arcane, you want it before your CDs, like before you cast Radiant Spark. Because imagine you cast Radiant Spark, you press Touch of the Magi and AP, 2 seconds later, the priest realizes he has to press Power Infusion. Another second elapses, so you lose 3 seconds in your CDs without Power Infusion, and basically all of your damage is almost already gone. Like, you already did your 3 Arcane Blasts, or 4, and you only have the Barrage left, and the 20 seconds of Power Infusion are useless. That's why you want to get PI right when your CDs start, or right before. That's the safer bet. See, right now I'm using it. Okay, he didn't PI me that late, which is great. I didn't crit here. This was really unfortunate because I would have done literally so much damage. I had Ruby up. I went up to 53% crit and still didn't crit. And I'm kind of worried right now that one of the hounds is going to die way sooner than the other one, and it's gonna res. Because that happens, by the way. If you kill one, you have to kill both at the same time. That's maybe an issue of playing Arcane here. I used my Rune of Power here just to risk, to not risk not killing the Hound. I tried to use whatever I had to kill it as fast as I could, even if it meant fucking up my CDs, because right now I have only my Radiant Spark, which, to be honest, I could use. Like, I could have used it right now and I would have gotten it back for AP. But, oh, see, I, I hesitated doing it because I didn't think about it earlier. Full mana, and I'm just fishing for clear casting proc so I can reduce my AP cooldown so I can CD. Using again my single target rotation. I went downstairs so that my Arcane Orb could hit the dinosaur, because the Arcane Orb doesn't go down from that pillar where the priest was staying and where I was staying otherwise. And the plan here is to kill Woe so that one of us goes to activate the boss. Sadly, I went for it and I didn't stay long enough, so he didn't activate, which kind of trolled the group, but well, it was my mistake. Another mistake I did here is using my AoE CDs on the Nightclaw that was dying the fastest. So instead of choosing the highest HP target, which I didn't, I just chose the random one and it had a bit lower HP than the other one, so I lost a bit of damage there because my Touch of the Magi exploded too early because the ad died too early, basically. See, the tank wants now the priest to activate the boss, but I went for it because I had alter time and 2 blinks, and I was like, alright, I'm just gonna alter, do 2 blinks, go as far as I can, so we don't waste time. I went up to here and went back, and it still didn't activate. I thought that was enough. Anyways, I had all my CDs up here with everything, literally everything. Bloodlust, Ruby, Potion, and I still didn't crit, as always. 53% and still didn't crit. 53% crit, I mean. But I'm still winning in single target, of course, because that's why I'm here, for the single target and for the funnel in the comp that we had. I don't have evocation and I don't have mana gems, so I literally can't do anything here. I'm just fishing for clear casting procs. I used orb because that can generate me a clear casting proc, as you can see, so that I could do some damage. I'm eating here while the shade dies, so so I can get mana. Yeah, as you can see on the top left, the boss didn't activate for some reason. That kind of triggered me. I mean, it was my fault and I felt bad about it, because we wasted time because of it. But we were super fast, so it wasn't really an issue. I tried to go first here, so I can activate it
Dr.
faster.
Zai has a profitable venture. Hopefully, this inclines them to aid our own.
And apparently you have to stay a bit more
What
in
I
this
need
room,
is
or
a
maybe close to the
distraction. The kind with sharp teeth.
spawn place of the boss.
This beast will do nicely.
This boss is a bit bad for Arcane if you don't play Slipstream, the first talent. The second talent. I still play Shimmer. I'm using Alter Time here, so I don't get gripped in.
I procced your proc, dude. Look at my dips.
You're going to see why. If I get gripped in, I just alter back and I can continue using my CDs. We got a random relic because again, I didn't focus it at all. You can try to focus the relic, but like the damage. So think about it. If you have 3 relics next to the boss and you use the funnel of those 3 relics with a talent that makes Barrage hit 15% harder for each target it hits, it means you hit the boss
Run.
45% harder than you would hit it if there were no ads around it. And if there is only one ad, so imagine you target the relic dies, and then you only have as funnel, you only do 15% damage instead of 45% more damage. That difference is pretty noticeable. But it depends on the comp. Like right now, it doesn't really matter. Getting WoW is not the worst thing ever because we need some movement speed anyways. But in comps, let's say you're playing a DH maybe, and a Hunter, and like you really want the CDR, then you don't even risk doing more damage. You just play it safe, play CDR. Here I'm tracking the Flagellation Protocol cooldown with DBM so that I can insta spell steal it and kick it, so we don't waste time with that. And I can do it unless I'm on CDs, as I will be now.
This is mine. They thought variable dimension tumblers would keep me out? Pathetic.
I use my Barrage first and I spell stealed after because my Barrage has a travel time. I didn't think I spell stealed, sorry, the priest dispelled here because I didn't get the shield.
Watch your
Instantly swapping to the new boss because the old one is almost dead.
change.
The second one, I mean.
Cleanse yourself with annihilation.
Trying to help the warlock with the chains.
Run. Keep moving.
Using my 45 seconds here, but I don't have enough mana and I don't have the instant arcane blast, so it's really bad. I used an alter time.
Your proc, dude. Look at my dips.
I used an alter time on my Rune of Power so that I could come back on my Rune of Power for my Barrage. As you can see, I critted 89k even if those were only my 45 second CDs. I did that so I could CD even if I couldn't move.
Run.
Here, I saw that my CDs were coming up, so I wanted to go to the Hunter so I could get that debuff that he just passed to the Priest. Because collecting these orbs makes you have more damage, so if I would have gotten that from the Hunter, I would have collected, let's say, 10 of them and done 50% more damage on my CDs here with Ruby, Potion, everything up. 51% crit chance and I still didn't crit. This was a really,
Your proc, dude. Look at my dips.
really bad run for crits.
Target change.
I had the chains on me, but I just blocked them so I wouldn't risk, you know, dying.
You saved our menagerie. Well, what is left of it?
Yeah, movement for Arcane if you don't have Slipstream on this boss is really
Only for Dr. Zai's signature.
cancer.
Our
I still was
signature
first
is
in
a
single
fair
target, but
trade,
not by far, so
especially if it
yeah.
results in your departure.
On the male boss, I was really sad because I set up like a big single target CD on pool, but since there was shade in melee, I couldn't risk dying, so I just, you know, fucked up my CDs. You're going to see what I'm talking about.
Somebody
I also told the keyholder, which was the hunter, that I could solo the event. So the plan here was to kill Woe. And right when Woe dies, I would use Greater Invisibility to go out of combat and go to the event.
will secure cartel Ao's signature.
As you can see, we're focusing WoW here to do exactly that. I really don't enjoy playing Arcane with pugs compared to premates, but I don't have a premate team, so sometimes I don't have a
I'm
choice.
procking your proc, dude. Look at my dips.
But it's like so much better to have premates like do exactly, you know, play around you, the whole team playing around your CDs. As you can see, instantly when we got
May
WoW,
I
I used the
tempt you with
invis
my
so I can
wares?
start the event. I had a weak aura telling me where to go, but the map weak aura is bugged, so I was just reading the nameplates. I saw that this ad that I have to go to was here. However, I was too close to the mobs,
Until our
so I
next
got aggro here,
transaction.
and I was like, oh my god, did I fail this totally? But since I had WoW, I could kite them, like really far. Luckily, I got one that
All
was really
until
close,
our
and there
next
were no more ads
transaction.
in between us. I was just seeing the mobs since I already failed. And I had done it. It's only 3 and then you get the password in the chat and you can just remember it for later. I don't know why they pulled the boss to reset it. I don't know what happened because I wasn't there. But I think that meant we got some free relics, which is pretty nice. Oh no, they despawned. Never mind. I wanted to remind the priest to PI me on pool here because as you can see, I had my ruby ready, my mirror images. I thought we were going to go boss right after, but actually there was an extra pack we needed to play. And I died because I didn't pay attention, I think. Yeah, I was writing here and I died to the shade. I was so mad at myself for failing that, and the tank was mad as well because he told me to stop writing afterwards. Stop typing, you're dying. Yeah, well, I'm really sorry, we're not on voice, this is a pub group. I'm trying to tell people, like, to figure out what we're going to play and how, because playing Arcane is not as simple as just pressing your CDs, you know. You have to actually plan when to use what CDs to have actual damage. We have Bloodlust in 36 seconds, I have Potion in 42. I could have done so much damage here if we didn't fuck up that shade, if that shade wasn't on me. Here I'm not using anything because I'm not risking not having all my CDs for boss pool. We have a lot of time, so even if we take like a few seconds more here just to be safe for boss, that's okay. We have 15 minutes to play 2 bosses and about 20%.
Interrupt.
Yeah, so the shade that the mailman will spawn is going to come on me. I bloodlusted, used ruby, used my CDs. You can see the shade following me. I don't want to risk dying, so I just blinked away. That made my barrage hit without the Rune of Power buff. I also didn't crit, which was also bad. We got Woe, which was also not that great because is carrying so much this boss fight. But I guess the 15% damage reduction isn't that bad. And also the extra speed when we have to put these bombs isn't bad at all.
AOE incoming. Watch your feet.
Had my 45 seconds back up, using them again.
Parcels containing fluids must be destroyed.
This was a pretty bad run, to be honest, for me. Even though I know my job is to do single target and to funnel, it still wasn't that great. Like, my overall wasn't insane. I had done 24 streets a few days ago, in which I ended with almost 17k overall, and on this run I think I did around 14k.
AOE
But
incoming.
again, it depends on, you know, if you get the PIs or not, if your brush crits, if people play around your CDs. I risked not dying, not using anything there, just because I had my CDs back up and I thought I was going to live, and I did.
Parcels containing
That was a good gamble, because
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look
now
at my
I
dibs.
have block in
I'm procking
case
your proc, dude.
there's a
Look at
new
my
cast,
dibs.
or in case I have to solo the soaking yellow thing.
Stack.
As you can see, the hunter did more damage in single target than me in this pool, just because the pool was
Special coming.
you know, fucked because of the shade.
AOE incoming.
insufficient postage applied.
Ah, thank you. I've never seen a mailroom so disorganized.
You are quite welcome, whoever you are. Now, we are in need of Zoe's signature.
Oh, you mean this? There are dozens of them all over the floor.
Enjoy your stay.
Take one.
Ah,
Here I'm just trying to
Yes,
do my stacks
thank you.
for
No
the first
problem
pack
at all.
ad.
Now to find a way back to
I'm
Azeroth.
trying to get my
After I
arcane
make a
power
few
back up as well,
processing
but it doesn't really
improvements
matter
around
because
here.
there's so much RP on this boss that I'm 100% sure I'm going to get my CDs. On this boss, you can play the drums as arcane if the healer lets you. I didn't want to risk typing again and, you know, getting them mad, so I just did another instrument. But if you stay on the drums, you don't need to get out of them compared to a healer that needs to, you know, boon, for example, and then needs to get down from the drums. You can just stay there the whole fight. Your arcane orb's a bit bugged there because you can't aim where you shoot it, but like that's it. Apart from that, it's super good. But I was like, we're fine on time. I'm not gonna risk anything. I just want to time this key. Using all my cooldowns here with the mirror images.
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dibs.
I still almost died here. I don't know why though. I don't know what reflected me or what cast went on me, but anyways. I
Defensive.
still had aggro after my mirror images died. I didn't have kick because I kicked earlier. So I used Invis to lose the aggro and be safe so that I don't die.
Easy, all of you. This is not that kind of establishment.
On this boss you can use AP on the first ads as I did, and then you will have 45-second cooldowns for the second set of ads as I'm doing right now, and then you'll have AP again for boss.
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dibs. I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dibs.
Just doing arcane explosions until I get 4 charges, and then using my barrage. Because there are 4 targets which have about the same amount of health after I use my CDs. I'm just making sure to have my 18 stacks for the boss. As you can see, when I'm using arcane missiles, I'm recasting them really fast to get maybe clear casting proc. So I'm not, if I don't have a clear casting proc, I won't just cast arcane missiles throughout the whole cast. If I have mana or revocation ready or something like that, like I'm doing right now. What I did here though is I focused the relic a bit to be sure it dies, and then that meant I could also use Ruby on it, which I'm doing right now. I also got a Pelagos proc. The healer also PI'd me. I don't remember critting here. Yep, I didn't.
Never play in this town again.
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dibs.
Shockwave.
Closing time.
Interrupt.
45 seconds are back up. While you have the relic, you can start using your 45 seconds when your Touch of the Magi
I'm
has
procking your proc, dude.
about
Look at my
8
dibs.
seconds cooldown, depending on your haste. But that's how it is for me. That's what I did here. So you don't have to specifically wait for Touch of the Magi to be on cooldown. You can like precast Rune of Power and Radiant Spark until Touch of the Magi comes on cooldown, and that's really fast with the buff, with the cooldown reduction.
Shockwave.
Now my CD's back up, but boss is already dead. So yes, I was last on this boss fight, but I was first on boss, as I just showed on the right side.
All the
Since I
signatures
witnessed
we
such
need.
a vigorous show, my establishment would not
I'm
survive.
using my mana gem here because I know we're going
Apologies,
to
Almiser.
have a lot of time since we play whatever, so I have time to get my mana just passively. We're lacking percent, and the percent we're lacking is a pack here on the left.
Destruction to my oasis.
Again, using my AoE rotation here because there are 4 ads.
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dibs. I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dibs.
As you can see, I'm always using this rotation in AoE in this dungeon because there is always one ad that you want to funnel, and even if there isn't, all ads are dangerous in my opinion in streets, so having one ad die much faster is actually really well. Like it's great. That's why I'm never using the rotation for Arcane Explosions into Barrage. I'm always doing 2 explosions into Barrage, into Arcane Orb, into Barrage. And now we only have the boss to play. This was a really bad fight, the way we played it. I'm just waiting for the monk to CC it to be sure I don't ninja pull it.
Excuse our intrusion, Solia. I hope we caught you at an
You can
inconvenient
blink in this
time.
fight through the walls, okay? So always try to hold your blinks to do the first kick on the bosses.
The artifact you seek
On the
brings
boss,
only
I'm sorry.
suffering.
Suffering.
I got my food off again since there is again so much RP in this boss.
Die.
I got a clear casting proc to reduce the cooldown of AP. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to kill the relic. I used Ruby on the relic and now I'm using my cooldowns.
Every
Run.
circle has its
I'm procking your proc, dude. Look at my dibs.
As you can see, I can also blink in this. I don't need to do the mechanic at all as a mage here. That's why I like Shimmer in this dungeon, even if it's a bit bad for the Menagerie boss. I feel it's really good on this boss.
Every
Run.
Having 2 blinks instead of 1 and not having it all cooldown. I'm trying to kill here because the tank almost died and we're all kind of struggling. I blinked because reduces the cooldown of my blink greatly, and now I'm using my 45 seconds. I'm really scared because the boss is going to split, I think, soon. We just got Bloodlust back up, so I use it.
Interrupt 1. Interrupt 2.
Yeah, so I didn't have time to kick that one because the monk was already there. Randomly the boss jumped to a place where we were already there. But you saw that I blinked through the wall, and that's what you can do every time. So try to hold your blinks for that. That's what I didn't do, but... And now I'm using my AP. I'm praying that the boss doesn't divide us. I managed to get my barrage right before he divided us.
Interrupt 1.
I used my blink to get to the boss, so I didn't have a blink here.
Interrupt 2.
Luckily, we only had to take 1 teleport to get to the boss. We are kicking late on this boss, just so he stays in the same place for a longer time and we can do more DPS to it. Right now, as you can see, the circle is there and the monk decides to go all the way. But we could have just waited, as I did, that the circle surpasses the square, and then we went into the square. That's what we did with the priest. It was so much safer. And faster, actually. The monk was now alone because he did what he did. Now the things shuffled again, and I was on the on the right spot, but nobody was there with me, so I couldn't come. I was just waiting for the monk to come towards me. I feel like everybody was dying here. I don't really understand why. Yeah, the priest died.
Interrupt 1.
I used some cooldowns there on the boss, but he jumped before I could finish them. I used block so I don't get hit by the thing.
Dude, look at my dips!
I was just pressing my buttons here randomly, to be honest. I just wanted this boss to be dead. Nobody was CRing the healer, and I was really afraid that the tank was gonna die, so I went for the CR. As I was casting, the warlock CR'd him. And we timed the key. This boss fight was super hazardous and was really bad. Again, my overall wasn't great, but I had a certain job to do. As you can see here on a 24 streets I did earlier, a few days ago, I had much more overall, but we had a rogue and a demon hunter. And in that run, well, I could do more damage than them because I had every single PI and we were playing around my CDs, but here we play more around the hunter and the warlock, and I'm there to do the funnel and to fill in like with a bit of damage. But again, that's what you want to do as an arcane mage, since it's not the meta. You want to funnel what people can't funnel and just be the team player. Thank you for watching, guys, and see you on the next one. I'll leave you guys with the mailbox boss that I did on that 24 streets fight, so you can see just how much damage you can do in single target. Have fun.
Unauthorized arrivals will be sorted.
I'm procking your proc, dude, look! I'm procking your proc, dude, look at my dips! I'm procking your proc, dude, look at my dips!
AOE incoming. Stat.
Require verification by photo, signature, and blood.
Special coming.
With carnage.
AOE incoming.
I'm procking your proc, dude, look at my dips!
Parcels containing fluids must be destroyed.
AOE incoming. Stat.
Require verification by photo, signature, and blood.
Special coming.
With carnage.
AOE incoming.
Parcels containing fluids must be destroyed.
AOE incoming.
Delivery.